Hello, darkness, my old friend. You've come to talk with me again. Sens lose 4-1 to the Boston Bruins. Apparently begging doesn't always work. Neither does asking politely. I don't know what to do anymore. The Sens? They came into that contest winners of 3 straight. During that 3-game run, the Sens used 11 forwards and 7 defensemen each time. With injuries piling up, the club couldn't use their 11-7 rotation, and instead had to go back to the more traditional 12 forwards and 6 defensemen lineup. With Ben Harpur injured, he came out of the lineup, and Alex Formenton ready to return from a concussion suffered against the Flyers, he came in. The rest of the lineup, it stayed the same. So, with the lineup figured out, the Sens came into the contest against the Bruins 0-1 this season, having lost their only previous meeting 6-3 in Boston. In that game, the Bruins' top line finished with 5 goals and 11 points. Shutting them down, that was going to be key. And they did that. If shutting them down means giving up 1 more goal than last time, 4 Bruins goals. David Pastrnak finishes with 2 goals, 2 assists. Brad Marchand has 1 assist, and Patrice Bergeron has a goal and 2 assists. In the first game, he gave up 5 goals and 11 points. In the second game, he gave up 3 goals and 8 points. Just terrific. You guys are a real solid organization. You realize that line's production would look good against you over the course of the entire season? The Bruins have played 9 games so far this season. If Pastrnak had 0 points against any team not named the Sens in any of those other 7 games, he'd still have 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 points in 9 games. That's pretty good. And Bergeron? Oh, his numbers would be piddly. 9 games played, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. For shame. And Marchand? He's had a tough time against the Senators, and he still has 4 assists! I'm convinced. Playing the Ottawa Senators is like Christmas morning for these guys. Good night, Pasta. Merry Ottawa Senators Eve. Night, Bergie. Same to you. Hey guys, I'm here too. Merry Sens Eve, boys. Night, Marshy. Oh my god, Bergie, Marshy, wake up! It's Ottawa Senators Day! It's Ottawa Senators Day! Gee, Bergie, I wonder how many presents we're gonna get this time. Haha, oh Pasta, don't you worry. The Ottawa Senators are a very generous bunch. You'll get everything you asked for, and then some. Oh boy, I can't wait! I love this time of year! Fellas? What about me? I'm here too. Yes, Marshy. You can have some presents too. The Sens have lots of presents to go around. Bad kids get coal for Christmas. Marchand didn't get coal, but he at least had to wait a little while to get his presents. Pastrnak, on the other hand, did not. Just over 11 minutes in, DeMello turns the puck over. Don't do that. The puck lands on the stick of Cachet. He slides it over to Heinen, who hits a streaking Pastrnak coming into the Sens zone. With lots of space in front of him, Pastrnak rifles a shot by Craig Anderson. 1-0 Bruins. Yeah, Chabot might have been out of position, maybe going off the ice on a line change, which is why Pastrnak had so much time. But Chabot wouldn't have been out of position if they didn't turn the puck over. Don't turn the puck over! It's that simple. The game stays 1-0 until late in the second period. The Sens have been buzzing all period, but they just can't buy a goal. Finally, and I mean finally, the Sens get on the board. Chabot blasts home his 3rd of the year on a point shot during a power play, and the game is tied. That was a big goal. Not only because it tied the game, but like I said, because they finally scored. It was also a really smart play by Ryan. The other day I said that he was an underrated passer, and he showed why on this play. And it wasn't even so much the pass itself, but it was about the way he set up the play. Ryan had the puck along the wall, and he had one Bruin watching him down low and another watching him up high. He made a quick cut towards the middle of the ice, which drew the forward in. When the forward moved in to make a play on Ryan, that freed up Chabot at the blue line. Ryan hit him with a nice pass, and with lots of time, Chabot wound up and fired it by Rask to tie the score. The Sens are on the board! A special shout out to Colin White on the play as well, who was standing in front of the net. The Sens need that, and it was nice to see he was willing to pay that kind of price. Big goal, now we're tied. Whatever you do, just get to the intermission with that tie. And 36 seconds later, Alex Formenton is sent off to the box for holding. Tough play by a young player. That can't happen. To make matters worse, Less than a minute later, Mark Stone is whistled for too many men on the ice. I know Guy Boucher wanted that call, but honestly, Guy, that was a penalty. You had 3 players in the defensive zone, 1 standing in the neutral zone, and Mark Stone attacking the puck carrier. That's 5 players on the ice. You're only allowed 4? That's too many men on the ice. 4 seconds later, Bergeron wins the drawback to Pastrnak. He fakes out everyone on the ice and slides a cross-ice feed to Cachet. With Anderson swimming in his net, Cachet taps it home, and the Bruins have the lead. What a tough goal. 4 seconds into a 5-on-3. Not only do the Bruins get a late goal, but they get a minute 56 of power play time remaining. It's also a back-breaking goal. You just tied the game. Then you take a bad penalty. Then you take another bad penalty. Then you give up a goal in the final minute. Yikes. To make matters worse, just 20 seconds into the third period, and on the same power play, Grzelcyk finds Pastrnak at the blue line. He fires a shot through, it gets through and Bergeron tips it, gets by Anderson, and the Bruins are in front 3-1. After such a good second period, the game completely fell apart. In the span of 2.5 minutes, the Sens had tied the game, taken 2 penalties, and given up 2 goals. In 2.5 minutes, this team went from being tied to trailing 3-1 in the third period. About 5 minutes later, the Bruins get the puck. Marchand carries the puck over the blue line and cuts into the middle. DeMello reaches, Marchand teaches, and... whoops. Sorry. Broken ankles and all. Marchand goes full Harlem Globetrotters on DeMello, snapping his ankles in the process. He finds Pastrnak, who is wide open after Marchand turned a 2-on-2 into a 2-on-1, and then Matt Duchene turned it into a 2-on-0 when he left Pastrnak all alone. Pastrnak gets the puck, taps it into the empty net, and the Bruins lead is 4-1. Just this. I honestly can't do or say anything else. What a joke. I sit down to watch a National Hockey League contest, but for whatever reason, every time I watch Ottawa and Boston, it's like watching a National Hockey League team take on a Pee Wee team. Would somebody do something to stop them from scoring? Nah, we just prefer to look foolish. Ah! The Sens try to come back, but get nowhere, and the Bruins win 4-1. This was so frustrating. First off, the Sens didn't even play that poorly. They outshot the Bruins and carried the play for long stretches of the game. Alas, they couldn't score and fell apart at inopportune times. Special credit to Rask though, he was very good in the Bruins' goal. And secondly, yes, they crumbled at the worst time. And believe me, nobody is more mad about that than I am. But we have to remember, this is a young team. They are going to make mistakes, and we have to be patient. As frustrating as it is, these are all part of the growing pains this team has to go through. As long as they learn from it, I can accept it. If this keeps happening though, my tune will change. But please, for the love of all things hockey, please stop letting this line tear you apart. Now, the good news. Their work ethic. Yes, they lost the game, but they outshot the Bruins 39-32. Yes, they fell apart, but they worked hard. Yes, they struggled to score, but they had 2 pucks pulled off the goal line. This team came to work. Sometimes, hard work doesn't always immediately result in results. But keep working hard, and good things will happen. They could have quit after going down 3-1. They didn't. They could have quit after going down 4-1. They didn't. You can't always control the score, but you can control your work ethic. They did that again, and it was nice to see. Now, the bad news. Do I even have to say it? I mean, it's pretty obvious. They can't stop the Bergeron line. It drives me up the wall! They play the Bruins 2 more times this season, which means 2 more Christmas mornings for the Bruins, and 2 more days of me living my worst nightmare. The Bruins have won 6 straight against the Sens, and after watching the BPM line go to work, there's no reason to believe that streak will stop anytime soon. Next up, the Sens hit the road to battle the Colorado Avalanche. It feels like forever since the Sens have been on the road, and it has been. They've only played 2 of their 8 games away from the friendly confines of the Canadian Tire Centre so far this season, and they haven't been on the road in 2.5 weeks. That game in Colorado will also be the first time Matt Duchene returns to Colorado since being traded to Ottawa last season. He did play the Avalanche twice last year, right after the trade, but both games were in Sweden. What kind of a reception Duchene receives upon his return to Colorado will be interesting, given that his time with the team was very tumultuous, especially near the end. Aside from Duchene's return, what kind of a challenge will Friday be? Well, they won't have the challenge of stopping the BPM line, but they just so happen to take on Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan MacKinnon, and Mikko Rantanen, who just so happen to be the hottest line in hockey. Terrific. Christmas morning, all over again. See ya Friday night.